Hello there. In this topic, we're going to talk about what are decision tables and how to implement them. Well, decision tables enable you to bring your business rules into the cubes, into your models, and these business rules can be imported as well from your Excel sheets. So the idea is that all the rules which are generally created by different business units and different analysts and different other audience can be brought into HANA in a very easy and useful way. So this is another way to push business logic into the database so you can make your queries much more efficient. Right, let's go ahead and take a look at how to create them. Let's take a look at the calculation view which we built, the copa underscore calc. And if I say data preview, and let's say that I want to understand, for example, in a region, how many customers are high net worth and how many customers are enterprise and how many customers are medium and how many customers are starter customers. So to do that, we have to bring in another column called customer type where we define which customer is what. So we can say that if a customer, for example, here the customer number 255, we can bring in the name so you know what his name is. So customer number 255 or Emma Bull, her transaction is $2,529. So there are differences between these two customers and we want to identify that and we want to create another column for that. So let's see how to do that. So first let's go ahead and create a decision table. So you can come back to your package, you can right click on it, you can say new, and let's go ahead and give it a name called, so we're going to name it customer underscore category, and no problem. So this is a new one package. Let's go ahead and finish this. So when you create your decision table, this is how the empty decision table looks like. You have two nodes. One is the decision table and then you have the data foundation. So when you click on data foundation, your output panel will open up and then you have properties. So just like any other model, data foundation carries physical tables. And if you come to the output pane, this is a little bit different from the other output panes because here you have something called conditions and actions. And we also have something called parameters. In all the other output columns, we will have something called input parameters, but here we have something called parameters. Let's see how to work with these guys. So first of all, I want to bring in the table. So let's bring in the table here. So I want to pull up the CE1 from the training schema. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to take the key columns because we're going to eventually use this in a calculation view. So take mandate, take KNDNR, we want to take the customer number. Okay, and then we want to evaluate the revenue, right? So we pick up the revenue column. So V010 is a revenue column and we need that. And now what we're going to do is we are going to create another column as we discussed before called as customer type, right? So let's go ahead and create that column as a parameter. That's what we do in a decision table is you have to create a column as a parameter. So here you're going to give the data type. So here the data type can be varchar because this customer type will talk about what kind of customer it is. All right. Now a little bit about conditions and actions, right? So conditions are basically columns on top of which we will take those conditions. For example, let's say that in this case the condition column will be are VV010, because this is where we are evaluating the net revenue. So from the net revenue column, we are saying that any customer under this particular number is so and so, and then over a limit is so and so. And this has to be acted upon the column called customer type. So we are going to say that add as an action, because we want to act on this column based on a condition derived from this column. Okay, wonderful. So when you do that, if you come to the decision table itself, you will see that the two columns are shown up here. Okay, wonderful. Now let's go back to Excel just for a quick second. So here I have built in a logic already. So this is what we want to do. So we want to say that anything less than $10,000, type of that customer should be starter. Between 10 grand and 50 grand, the customer type is medium, and so on. Anything about $100,000 is enterprise. Okay, so this is what the logic we want to program. So naturally, you can come here, you can say that. So VB01, the condition is less than $10,000, and the customer type is starter. Now you can choose to write all the rules. You can say right click and add a condition value, and then another column will open up, and then you can write it, or you could import it from a MS Excel. So let's import the same file which we saw earlier called rules, and here you see that it's much easier to write it in Excel and bring it inside. Okay, so that's our quick decision table. Let's go ahead and activate this. All right, it's activated successfully, and let's take a look at the data preview. Okay, now we want to know what kind of customer type, what customer is. So if you pull up the VV010 and customer type, it talks about how many customers are enterprise, how many customers are large, medium, and starter. Now if you go to the raw data, because that is aggregated, is talking like that. If you go to the raw data, you see that next to every customer you have the customer type. So here we have medium, and then if you drag down, you have in this set of 200 rows, you have only medium. But if you go to distinct values, you will be able to see different kinds of. So this is the distribution we have. All right, so now what we want to do is we want to combine this with that calculation view. Let's do that.